Hello, everyone. I am Krandall Brantley for Buckeyes Daily. It is a new week. Ohio State is 8-0, getting ready to play Purdue on Saturday. They had a major recruiting weekend on their way to a 38-14 victory over Penn State. With that, the following day on Sunday, picked up some major recruiting wins. They got two in-state O linemen for the 2027 class. They got four-star Kellen Weimer at Liberty Center, Ohio, and they got three-star Mason Wilt from St. Clairsville. Now, this was big for Kellen Weimer. You might think that because he's an Ohio guy, he was a shoe-in for Ohio State. No, this kid grew up as a Michigan fan, and he had Michigan. They're on their Michigan's radar. Notre Dame wanted him. Auburn wanted him. Other schools wanted him, but Ohio State was right there for the commitment, and Michigan just offered him, I want to say a couple days before the commitment, but he is 100% committed, as he said, to the Buckeyes. So major win. I know it's major for them to get the best players in Ohio to stay in Ohio, and so big time recruiting win for the Buckeyes there. So with the win, they get that, and the recruiting in 2027, 2026 is still heating up. I think they're going to get even more 4 stars and 5 stars on the way, but that's to be continued. We got a new Heisman frontrunner, and he is in Columbus, Julian Sayin. After his outstanding performance against Penn State, 316 throwing, only had 3 incompletions and 4 touchdowns. So he had 124 for Carnell Tate, 123 for Jeremiah Smith, and he still get the ball to Ennis and Claire and those guys, and just racking up numbers. Jim Knowles was trying to pressure him. He had 15 hurries. I mean, had to pressure him 15 times. It didn't matter. Julian Sayin was getting the ball quickly to no sacks. So credit the O lineman, credit Sayin, and credit the by far the best receiving core in the nation for that. But he is officially the new Heisman frontrunner. I think it's going to come down to him and Mendoza in Indy. But before that, I think there's a couple things that are holding Jordan Sam back. They won't have a marquee matchup again until they play the game on November 2019. November 29th, sorry. On that point. And other players like Simpson for Alabama and others will have marquee matchups with all the Heisman voters watching at this point. Ohio State is 28.5 point favorites against Purdue this weekend. That won't be the marquee matchup for him. Now, they do get UCLA at night on NBC on the 15th. So that could be a chance to showcase his Heisman campaign under the lights on national TV. He puts up numbers against them. That could bring in some more voters to remind him what he's doing. And same thing goes for Jeremiah Smith. I know both their Heisman campaigns, OSU has launched them, so check that out. I'll have more information on that later on in the week. But yeah, people got notice of what Sayin was doing. This is not the same quarterback from week 1 on Labor Day week against Texas. No, he's doing everything at this point, and I think the offense is continue to get better at this point in the season. Okay. Over the weekend, Michigan just barely beat 2-7 Purdue at home. Going into this game, I figured that Michigan was going to whip them by 4 touchdowns. I took the score on my phone. I'm like what? This is a battle against Purdue. And then kind of see the news, but I'm saying this as OSU fan. Like, don't be fooled by these scores. They barely beat teams. this stuff happens every year for Michigan. Like, they always have these games where you want to compare teams. You're like, it better be that team. OSU would destroy them. And you want to like write them off. Don't be fooled by that. Michigan is going to have their best game late November against us. I have no doubt about that. OSU has to bring it. Let's say, just for context, 2022, they barely beat Illinois. He wasn't that good that year. It's not the same Illinois as now or last year. They barely beat them, and Blake Corum got injured that game. And you kind of figure they're limping into the game, and we know what happened. Um, they end up winning that game for the first time in the shoot in over 20 years. Let's talk about 2023. They go in Happy Valley, and it's a pretty boring second half. Well, Michigan didn't even bother to throw a pass. They won the game without even throwing a pass in the second half. They just ran the ball, trusted their defense, and won by 15. So then you have last year's team. They lose 5 games. They get ran out of the building by Texas. They get beat by 3 scores against Oregon, and lose through other games. But as you see, they were progressing and getting better throughout November, and we know what happened in the game last year. And so these are the key stats to check out. Look what they did in the run game. Jordan Marshall, 3 touchdowns in that game. Some Michigan fans believe that he is better than Justice Haynes, and I have more on that pretty soon. But they're going to have a stellar run game. They've had that. We know it now. We see what Jordan Marshall is doing, and his numbers are kind of similar to Justice Haynes at this point in the season now, and we know how very talented Bryce Underwood is, especially in the run game. So the RPOs, that's going to be a scary combo if OSU doesn't stop the run. They have so far this season. That's going to be the toughest matchup to stopping the run. We're going to all the talk about physicality and the defense is going to be front and center for the game. Like, we're going to show how physical our defense is, especially the D line. We already know the linebacker core is the best. We know secondary is top tier. The only way I see Michigan winning that game is the run game. So it comes down to the run game. And so I say, don't be fooled by this score. They only won 21-16 against Purdue. Think about what Jordan Marshall did in the run game. That's going to be the key point. And so speaking of Michigan's run game, the star running back, Justice Hayes, unfortunately he's had to undergo foot surgery, and the timetable for his return is to be continued. Michigan hopes that he is back by the end of the season for the game, but there's a lot of unknowns. There's rumors that he broke his foot and he was out on a walking boot on the sidelines for the Purdue game, just letting it rest. It doesn't seem like he would play for the game, and I wish him the best of luck in the speedy recovery. I think this goes for all Ohio State fans. We want to see them at 100%. We don't want to see that happen to anyone. And there's also be a test for us in that standpoint. So wish Mrs. Hayes the best of luck and speedy recovery. And I say this, going forward again with these injuries, Jordan Marshall is a dog. He's from Ohio. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year in 2022 from Cincy. I think it's with Moeller. And he had that. And then the following year, 2023, with Mr. Ohio. So all this seems like, okay, he's definitely bound to be a Buckeye, right? That's from Ohio, and these accolades, the best in Ohio to stay in Ohio. Well, no, he was on the radar. He was right there considering Ohio State. At the end, he chose Team Up North, which I'd say it's a brutal loss, especially the time period for Ohio State after being having a losing streak and have Harbaugh's like rise in that time period, and to lose in-state recruit like that, um, it'd be tough. And here's this: main recruiter for Ohio State, Tony Alford, he's the guy that missed on Jordan Marshall. Well, now he is coaching Jordan Marshall at Michigan. Like he ends up being a winner in this, but he lost it for Ohio State. But with that, it's still going to be a very tough matchup in November, dealing with this guy and Bryce Underwood and their tough O line. I think OSU is going to be ready for it. Patricia got something to prove out there in Michigan after how this stint in Detroit ended, and this is the number one defense in Columbus, and they have something to prove after this losing streak. They want to end it immediately, but for now, it is Purdue week. I'll have more on Purdue tomorrow. So, go Bucks.